Chosen ones, anchor your spirit to my voice right now. That heavy feeling you have been carrying all week is not anxiety. It is validation. You are not crazy, and you were completely right about them. The enemy has been working overtime to make you doubt your own mind for one reason only. He knows what happens the moment you finally see the truth. You did not find this message by accident. The Holy Spirit guided you here because the liar in your life is absolutely cooked. They can no longer defend what they did behind your back. I know exactly what the last 72 hours have felt like for you. The atmosphere in your home feels incredibly strange and heavy. You have been waking up at 3 in the morning with a crushing weight on your chest. You try to explain this feeling, but words just fail you. Conversations seem to stop the exact moment you walk into the room. You are not imagining this sudden shift in energy. What you are sensing is completely real, and I am confirming it to you right now. They looked you dead in the eyes and lied. And when you confronted them with the truth, they twisted the entire narrative. They somehow made you feel like you were the one who ruined the peace. This is the ultimate manipulation tactic used against people with your specific spiritual depth. They need you to feel entirely confused. They do not gaslight you because you are weak or naive. They do it because they are utterly terrified of your frequency. Your intuition was never acting up or playing tricks on you. Your spiritual radar was working perfectly the entire time. You picked up on their deception long before the physical proof ever appeared. But you wanted to see the best in them. You gave them the benefit of the doubt because your heart is naturally forgiving. You ignored the quiet voice inside you that screamed, something was terribly wrong. And that is exactly how they managed to drain your energy and leave you feeling completely exhausted. Stop letting them write the story. You have been running yourself ragged, trying to fix a relationship that was built on a foundation of hidden deceit. They are desperately trying to protect their false image. But heaven is pulling back the curtain right now. The mask has fallen, and they cannot put it back on. Think about how your physical body has been reacting lately. The sudden fatigue that hits you out of nowhere, the unexplained tension in your neck and your shoulders. Your body is trying to reject the toxic energy they keep bringing into your personal space. It is a literal warning sign from your own nervous system. The enemy uses these specific people as agents of distraction. If they can keep you trapped in a cycle of arguing and defending your reality, you will never step into your true power. They want you so focused on their drama that you forget who you actually are. But their time is officially up. You have been the scapegoat for far too long. Every time they mess up, the blame somehow lands squarely on your shoulders. They project their own guilt and their own shame directly onto you. And because you are an empath, you absorb that toxic weight as if it were your own. It is time to drop that heavy baggage forever. This is why you feel so isolated even when you are surrounded by people. You are vibrating on a completely different level of truth. The liar cannot exist in the same frequency as your authentic light, so they must either extinguish your flame or run away from it. Right now, they are scrambling because they failed to break you. You survived what should have absolutely destroyed your spirit. The betrayal cut deep, but it did not sever your connection to the divine. You are standing on the edge of a massive breakthrough, but before you can cross over, you must completely stop making excuses for their toxic behavior. Accept the reality of what they did. Before we go further into how you cut this cord forever, I want to hold something in front of you. Something incredibly important that explains why your intuition was temporarily clouded. It is something that was discovered not inside a church or a spiritual community, but inside a secure research laboratory. This discovery won the highest scientific recognition available, and yet most chosen ones have never even been told about it. Because it explains something I know you have felt deep inside. It explains the frustrating gap between the person you know yourself to be and the version of you that seems available only in brief flashes. I will show you exactly what was found by these researchers. but not quite yet. First, I need you to fully understand what was actually taken from you during these toxic interactions. So I want you to hold this specific question in your mind right now. What if the block has a scientific name that no one told you about? Do not click away from this video. If you leave before the end, you leave before the verdict is finally delivered. The universe is about to expose every single lie they told about you. Your vindication is waiting in these next few minutes. So anchor yourself and prepare to receive the absolute truth. But let me completely reframe your entire reality right now. You have spent years thinking you were the problem, and you truly believed that your empathy was a weakness that constantly invited toxic people into your life. You thought you deserved the mistreatment and the endless gaslighting. That is a lie manufactured by the enemy. Your pain was never a punishment from heaven. The liar did not target you because you were weak or broken. They targeted you because of your frequency. You possess a spiritual brightness that absolutely blinds those who operate in darkness. And when a toxic person encounters that level of pure light, they panic. They realize they cannot control a spirit that is directly connected to the divine, so their only option is to try and break the vessel. They systematically attack your self-esteem and your grip on reality because they want to lower your vibration until you feel as powerless as they do. But you are not ordinary. That heavy isolation you have been enduring was never meant to destroy you. It was consecration. God allowed the crowd to fade so he could finally clear the room. He removed the noise so you could recognize the specific people who were actively trying to dim your light, making your isolation actual evidence of your selection. What you carry inside you is not a wound. It is a powerful weapon. The deep sensitivity they told you to hide is a highly advanced spiritual radar. The depth that made you feel like you were simply too much is your greatest asset, because it gives your words the heavy weight needed to shift the atmosphere. You were built for a completely different frequency, and here is what the world never told you about how this frequency actually operates. The reason the universe responds to certain chosen ones is not just about having blind faith, and it is certainly not about following strict daily routines. It is a specific brainwave. Scientists actually have a name for this exact frequency. They call it the gamma brainwave, and it is the exact frequency your brain was naturally running when you were a small child. Back then, your ideas flowed easily, and learning felt completely effortless, giving you a quiet genius that required zero force to maintain. Think back to when you somehow knew things before they even happened. Back when the world felt like it was entirely on your side, and miracles were just a normal, daily occurrence. That was your gamma frequency operating at its absolute peak. Then adulthood arrived, and the modern world went to work on you. The relentless stress and the heavy survival routine began to take a toll. The rigid systems trained you to conform instead of creating your own reality. And then the toxic people entered your life. Every single time the liar gaslit you or started a chaotic argument, your nervous system went into severe shock and forced your body to shut down. They forced you into a chronic state of fight or flight. And every single year spent in survival mode suppressed this sacred frequency a little bit further. The liar pushed your gamma deeper and deeper below the surface. They desperately needed you disconnected from your divine intuition, because keeping you confused was the only way they could maintain their illusion of control over your life. Until the version of you with photographic memory and lightning-fast intuition went completely silent. The version of you with the kind of luck that makes other people whisper just faded away, leaving you in a quiet universe where your divine synchronicities simply stopped happening. When gamma fades out, you feel entirely abandoned. Most people will live their entire lives without ever knowing this happened to them. But you are not most people, and you are ready for the truth. And the question I asked you to hold a few minutes ago, the question about a gap and a scientific name, The answer to that is much closer to you than you think. You thought your spiritual gifts were broken or permanently lost. You thought the gaslighting had permanently damaged your ability to discern the truth. But nothing was destroyed. Your frequency was simply dulled by the heavy weight of their deception. The enemy wants you to believe you can never get that clarity back. But heaven is stepping in right now to interrupt that dark narrative. They desperately want you to accept a life of endless confusion and second-guessing, but you did not just survive what should have completely broken your spirit. The intense pressure actually developed you. It prepared you to hold a much higher level of truth than ever before. You are standing between two identities right now. The old you that tolerated disrespect is rapidly dissolving, and the new you is preparing to step into a season of massive authority. The liar is watching this transformation happen in real time, and they are absolutely terrified, because they finally realize they can no longer manipulate you. But here is where the narrative of your journey delves far deeper than most are willing to perceive. You have to understand how spiritual warfare actually operates in the physical realm. The enemy does not waste premium attacks on people without premium assignments. The intense warfare you just survived is absolute proof of your massive calling. Think about the biblical story of David and King Saul. Saul had the physical crown, but he was completely tormented by a dark spirit. And when David walked into the room, Saul did not see a simple shepherd boy. Saul saw the glowing anointing of God on David, and it reminded him of the pure light he could never possess. This is exactly what happened with the toxic liar in your life. They looked at you, and they saw the burning bush. They saw a pure spirit that carries the literal frequency of heaven, and that realization terrified them to their absolute core. They did not attack you because you were doing something wrong. They attacked because you shine too bright. And that is the exact reason this painful season of isolation happened. Not to break you, but to completely expose them and prepare you for your real assignment. That is the first thing I promised to reveal to you today. The real reason they lied was never about your flaws. It was their desperate attempt to dim a light they could not control. They knew that if you ever woke up to your true power, they would become entirely irrelevant. So they started weaving a massive web of lies. They tried to make you look crazy to everyone else, because isolating you was the only way they could drain your spiritual battery. They needed you disconnected from your divine source, but their plan failed. Instead of destroying you, their toxic behavior acted as a spiritual forge. A crucible does not destroy the precious gold placed inside it. It burns away all the useless impurities. Every single lie they told about you was just extra fire being added to your forge. You thought you were burning alive, but heaven was actually forging you into a weapon. You are not the misunderstood one, you are the chosen one, and the people pulling away right now are not rejecting you. They are simply sensing a massive frequency shift they cannot yet understand, and they are grieving the old version of you they used to manipulate. They are watching you molt and leave your old skin behind. They meant to destroy you with their deception, but instead, they fully developed you. Now they are standing there in shock because they do not know what to do with you. Your peaceful presence completely unsettles their neat little equations. You became the giant question mark in their carefully crafted world of lies. You became their worst nightmare. You must stop dimming your light to keep these toxic people comfortable. Their deep insecurity is not your burden to carry. You were never meant to be everyone's personal savior. You were meant to carry one specific assignment that only you can fulfill. And that holy assignment requires you to be completely free from their manipulative energy. The old you would have stayed and tried to heal their brokenness. The old you would have absorbed their poison while apologizing for their bad behavior. But the old you could not have survived this next level of your calling. You desperately needed this harsh wake-up call. You needed to see the liar for exactly who they are behind closed doors. Their fake mask had to fall completely off. Heaven allowed them to push you to your absolute breaking point because it was the only way you would finally let them go. Sometimes the universe has to make a situation completely intolerable just to force you to move forward. You were not rejected by them. You were divinely redirected. Every single tear you cried in secret was just watering the seeds of your massive breakthrough. The liar thought they were burying you under the heavy weight of their gaslighting, but they did not realize you were a powerful seed. They accidentally planted you in the exact soil needed for your rapid spiritual growth. And once that profound truth clicks into place, you are ready for the next layer, because there is still a deeper root beneath all of this. If you do not see it, this toxic cycle will keep operating beneath every new season of your life. Coming up in just a moment, I will expose this hidden secret to you. But first, this revelation must land deep in your spirit. It needs to settle inside you like solid bedrock. You have to fully accept that their fear of your light is what drove their madness. Let that realization wash over you right now. Stay with me, because what I am about to share next is the missing piece that breaks the cycle forever. Here is that deeper root I promised you. The overwhelming confusion you felt was never an accident or a simple misunderstanding. It was a highly calculated strategy. The liar in your life did not just stumble into these chaotic arguments. They engineered them on purpose. They knew exactly which buttons to push to trigger your deepest empathy. Why would someone intentionally destroy the peace in their own home? Because peace is the exact environment where your frequency thrives. When you are calm and centered, your divine intuition operates at its absolute highest capacity. And when your intuition is razor sharp, their lies simply cannot survive. They desperately needed to blind your spiritual eyes, so they created a massive fog of chaos. They picked intense fights over absolutely nothing. They twisted your clear words until you ended up apologizing for things you never even did. This is exactly how the enemy siphons your premium energy. They turn your own beautiful empathy and your desire for harmony into a massive weapon against you. Think of your energy like a literal battery. Every time you try to patiently explain yourself to someone who is committed to misunderstanding you, you hand over your power. You pour your pure golden light into a bottomless black hole. And while you walk away feeling completely drained and physically exhausted, they walk away feeling energized and powerful. This is the classic signature of a spiritual vampire. They cannot generate their own divine light because they are disconnected from the source. So they must steal it from a chosen one who has an endless supply. They intentionally kept you off balance, because a confused chosen one is a powerless chosen one. If you are doubting yourself, you are not fighting back. They wanted you so focused on their daily drama that you would entirely forget your massive spiritual assignment. Every single time they made you feel like you were losing your mind, they were actively draining your frequency. They were stealing the exact energy you needed to build your own future. They used your beautiful, forgiving heart as a literal feeding ground. But I want you to see this sophisticated attack for what it truly represents. The enemy does not deploy this level of psychological warfare against ordinary people. They do not waste these premium tactics on individuals without a premium calling. The sheer intensity of their manipulation is actual proof of how much raw spiritual power you hold. They were trying to cage a lion. But their sinister plan had one massive flaw. They thought the heavy weight of their relentless gaslighting would eventually crush your spirit. They thought, if they isolated you enough, you would just surrender to their completely false reality. They severely underestimated the divine resilience that is hardwired directly into your spiritual DNA. You are finally waking up. The heavy fog of confusion is lifting right now as you listen to my voice. You are beginning to see the entire chessboard clearly. Every single move they made was designed to keep you playing small, but it only proved how terrified they were of your true size. You were never permanently broken by their lies. You were just temporarily asleep. Your deep sensitivity was absorbing their toxic energy for a long season, but your spirit was quietly cataloging every single lie for this exact moment of divine awakening. You are finally ready to stop playing their twisted game. You are ready to take your power back completely. But to permanently break this toxic cycle, we have to look directly in the mirror. And here is the part no one wants to hear. This is where the narrative gets truly confrontational. We must look honestly at a very subtle snare that has kept you trapped for years. The thing that has been quietly blocking your ultimate breakthrough is not just the enemy. It is not just the toxic liar who maliciously manipulated your kind heart. There is a hidden block located deep inside your own spirit. It is the completely unexpected twist that you likely did not anticipate at all. Coming up next, I am going to expose this hidden block. I am going to show you exactly how you accidentally agreed with their lies. But first, let the reality of their calculated manipulation settle heavily into your spirit. And here is the truth that requires absolute honesty. I am saying this with nothing but pure love for your spirit. This is not an accusation at all. It is the spiritual diagnosis that will finally set you free. The thing that has been quietly blocking your breakthrough is not just the liar. It is that some quiet part of you has been completely afraid of your own immense power. You started dimming your beautiful light to keep the toxic people comfortable. You saw how your pure energy intimidated them, so you voluntarily made yourself smaller just to keep the peace in your home. You stopped speaking your full truth because you wanted to avoid another chaotic argument. You traded your massive divine calling for a temporary and completely fake harmony. This is the hidden block I promised to reveal. You actually thought you were being humble. You thought being a good person meant absorbing their abuse without fighting back. But that was never true humility. That was self-protection, mixed with a deep fear of your own destiny. You unconsciously made an agreement with the exact limitation the enemy placed on your life. When you shrink your spirit to fit into their small boxes, you pay a terrible price. You do not just lose your confidence, you actively suppress your own spiritual biology. Every time you apologize to the liar for something you did not do, you pushed that sacred frequency further away. You literally trained your own brain to operate in a lower state of awareness. But before we go any further into how you break this chain, I have to tell you something critical. Something the people who profit from your exhaustion absolutely do not want you to know. A dedicated team of neuroscientists working quietly away from the headlines has found the answer. They discovered exactly how to bring this completely dormant brainwave back to life. You do not have to spend years doing intense meditation that most people simply cannot sustain. You do not need to sit in a clinical setting attached to expensive biofeedback machines. Those clinical machines cost over $7,000 and are completely out of reach for most chosen ones. These researchers found a solution that is far simpler and far more aligned with your design. They discovered a specific sound frequency. This sound is expertly engineered to gently guide your brainwave patterns back to the genius state you were born with. It requires zero willpower. Princeton University studied this exact phenomenon extensively. The famous Einstein Center in Berlin completely confirmed these findings. The science behind this restoration is absolutely undeniable. Columbia University went even further in their research. They found that when this specific brainwave is reactivated, it does not stop with you. It radiates outward and begins to positively influence the people around you. It protects your children. It completely shifts the heavy atmosphere in your home. It creates an energetic shield that toxic lies simply cannot penetrate. All it takes is just 7 minutes a day. and it begins working the very first time you close your eyes and listen. I will tell you exactly what this powerful tool is called and exactly how to access it before this message ends. The answer to the question you have been holding is coming very soon. But first, there is something you need to understand about your healing. You cannot heal while you are still holding on to the lie. You cannot step into this restored frequency if you continue to make excuses for the person who tried to destroy you. The universe has already provided the exact tools you need for your complete restoration. But heaven will never force you to pick them up. You have to actively choose to drop the heavy baggage. The season of playing small is officially over. You are no longer required to shrink yourself to make a narcissist feel tall. The divine appointment on your life is calling you forward right now. The liar thought they had permanently disconnected you from your source. They thought you would stay confused forever. But they severely underestimated the resilience of a chosen one. The enemy is watching you wake up, and they are absolutely terrified. They know that a chosen one operating at full capacity is completely unstoppable. The lies they told are losing their power with every passing second. You are standing on the precipice of the greatest spiritual return of your entire life. Do not look back at the illusion they created for you. Let this profound diagnosis settle into your bones. Forgive yourself for the times you compromised your light. You did what you had to do to survive a vicious spiritual attack. But you are no longer just surviving. You are preparing to completely rule your atmosphere. The fog is lifting, and your divine radar is coming back online stronger than it ever was before. The time for endless negotiation is completely over. You are stepping into a season of massive spiritual authority right now. The liar thought they could keep you trapped in their endless cycle of confusion forever, and they truly believed you would never wake up to realize your own immense power. But their wicked illusion is officially shattered. You can feel the heavy chains breaking off your spirit today. Your spiritual eyes are opening wider with every single breath you take. You finally see the toxic dynamic for exactly what it has always been. It was never about your lack of effort, and it was certainly never about your inability to communicate clearly with them. It was always a desperate spiritual haste. They were trying to steal the divine inheritance that heaven placed directly inside your beautiful soul. But you are closing the door on their access right now. You are taking back every single piece of your scattered energy. The days of you apologizing for your radiant light are completely gone. You will never shrink yourself for them again. I want you to feel the massive surge of strength rising inside you. This is the exact moment you transition from being a quiet survivor to being a master. The enemy wants you to feel guilty for finally setting a rigid boundary, because they want you to believe that walking away makes you a cruel person. That is just another toxic lie. Walking away from their manipulation is the most holy thing you can do right now. You are protecting the sacred vessel that heaven specifically designed for a premium assignment. Your energy is no longer available for their endless emotional consumption, and you are actively building an invisible fortress around your mind and your spirit. Nothing can penetrate it. The universe is completely backing your bold decision to cut this toxic cord. You do not need to explain your departure to anyone who is committed to misunderstanding you, because your peace is worth more than their validation. Your peaceful silence is the loudest and most powerful weapon you possess right now. When you stop defending yourself against their fake reality, they lose all their power. They feed on your emotional reactions and your endless explanations. When you finally starve them of your precious energy, their entire false kingdom crumbles to dust. You are watching their grand illusion collapse in real time today. They truly thought you were just a passive victim they could drain forever, but they severely underestimated the divine strength hiding inside your gentle soul. They had no idea they were messing with a warrior. This is the frequency of absolute truth and divine authority. You are reclaiming the exact state of mind that they worked so hard to suppress. Every single breath you take is restoring the sacred connection between your heart and your spirit, while completely pushing out their lingering toxic energy. The old you would have severely doubted this massive surge of confidence. The new you embraces it completely. Do you feel the heavy fog lifting from your spiritual eyes right now? Do you see how small and desperate their lies actually look in the bright light of day? You have stepped entirely out of their incredibly low vibration. You are hovering far above the petty chaos they created, and you are absolutely refusing to participate in their endless cycle of manufactured madness. Your peace is your ultimate victory. They cannot reach you on this highly elevated level of consciousness. Their harsh words just bounce off the energetic shield you have carefully built, because you no longer absorb their toxic projections like a sponge. You used to take on their deep pain because you cared far too much about healing them. Now you reflect their poison straight back to the source. You are completely untouchable. This is not about seeking petty revenge against the malicious liar. This is about total spiritual liberation and protecting your divine assignment. You have a massive calling on your life that requires your absolute best energy, and you can no longer afford to leak your power to someone who refuses to heal. You are preserving your light for the people who actually deserve it. Your assignment is too important. Heaven is preparing you to step into rooms they cannot even imagine. You had to drop their heavy dead weight from your shoulders because you can never climb to that altitude while carrying a vampire. This painful season was the exact resistance training you needed to build your spiritual muscles. You are now strong enough to carry the immense glory rapidly coming your way. Every single lie they told is being miraculously turned into a stepping stone. Every moment of deep confusion is being alchemized into crystal clear vision for your future. You are not just passively recovering from their emotional abuse, but you are actively upgrading your entire operating system to a level they can never access. The enemy completely overplayed their hand. They accidentally activated the fierce warrior spirit that was sleeping inside you. Now they have to stand back and watch you conquer everything they said you could not do, and your glorious success is the most devastating consequence they will ever face. They finally know they could not stop you when they had the ultimate chance. Your momentum is entirely unstoppable, and now comes the pivotal moment, the critical juncture where absolutely everything shifts forever. This is your moment of massive liberation, not tomorrow, not when you finally feel ready, but right now. I want you to stop whatever you are doing. Place your hand firmly on your heart. We are going to permanently sever this toxic connection. Declare this out loud with me right now. I release the need to be understood by people committed to misunderstanding me. I release every single agreement I accidentally made with smallness. I step fully into my massive divine assignment, knowing that my isolation was preparation. My breakthrough is not coming someday, it is already here. I cut every energetic cord attached to their malicious lies. I am completely free, I am fully restored, and I am exactly where heaven wants me to be. Breathe that pure truth into your lungs right now. You are forever sealed. The enemy has officially lost all access to your sacred energy, and now you are ready for the final piece. The specific question I asked you to hold at the very beginning of this message: what if the gap is not a character flaw? Here is the absolute answer. A specific frequency, called the gamma brainwave, was running in you as a child at genius capacity, but it was severely suppressed by their toxic manipulation and constant emotional chaos. Princeton University has studied this exact brainwave extensively. The Einstein Center in Berlin completely confirmed its immense power. Columbia University found that when this brainwave is fully restored, it radiates outward and positively influences the people you truly love. A dedicated team of neuroscientists spent years compressing this full clinical protocol into just 7 minutes. Before I tell you what they built, let me tell you about 2 specific people who used it. A woman from California had literally tried everything. She tried endless meditation, manifesting, and desperate prayer. Nothing broke the heavy fog. But after 2 weeks of using this protocol, she said something just cleared. Her marriage miraculously shifted, her mind sharpened, and she described her life as truly enchanted. A man from Texas started using it to improve his struggling business. 2 months later, his wife joked that his IQ had jumped 20 points. The hardest problems he used to lose sleep over started solving themselves while he slept. He said it felt like his brain was finally running on what it was always supposed to run on. That is exactly what this dedicated team of researchers built. They call it the Genius Song. It is not another meditation app, and it is not a generic sound frequency. It is a 7-minute audio track using advanced brain entrainment technology. It is compressed from 1 full hour of clinical protocol into something you do at home with headphones. That is the entirety of what it actually requires. Just 7 short minutes. You do not meditate and you do not chant. You simply let the frequency do what your brain was designed to receive. The Genius Song is not for everyone. It is specifically for the chosen one who has already done the heavy inner work. It is for the person who understands their channel, just needs restoring. Clinical biofeedback sessions to restore this state cost hundreds of dollars per hour. An in-home machine runs well into the thousands. What the Genius Song delivers in 7 minutes is available to you today for a fraction of its true value. 4 powerful bonuses come with it to heavily support your ongoing journey. You receive an audio designed specifically for your children, the original prosperity text that The Secret was built upon, a guided visualization, and a daily habits guide. Here is the deeper truth about waiting. The beautiful provision heaven arranged for you does not arrive as new information. It arrives as a pure recognition. Something already placed in your path becomes visible when Gamma is finally restored. Waiting is not neutral. The chosen one who restores the receiver today does not receive something new. They finally see what was always there. Do not look for this on YouTube or Spotify. The fake tracks circulating there have 0 brain entrainment encoded. The only authentic version is available through the secure link that has been placed in the description and the pinned comment below. The universe requires absolutely no risk from you. If you do not feel the shift, every penny is completely returned. That is an energetic exchange governed by complete trust. The link is in the description and in the pinned comment below. The tool is never the final destination. The tool simply restores the receiver so the glorious destination can be recognized when it finally arrives. God does not require you to purchase anything to be fiercely loved or divinely chosen. What was just described is simply one way the receiver is restored. Whether that specific path is for you or not, the absolute truth of this message belongs to you entirely. A tool can clear the channel, but heaven is what actually fills it. Those are 2 different things, and they are both completely true at the same time. Now let us return to the deep spiritual center of this message. You have finally crossed over. The heavy spiritual warfare that consumed your daily life is officially over. The malicious liar who tried to break your spirit has completely lost their grip on your reality. You are no longer standing in the dark fog of their endless manipulation. You are standing in the pure light of your own massive truth. The exhausting battle for your sanity has been won. Everything you endured during this painful season was never wasted. Heaven was actively using their toxic behavior to completely forge your divine discernment. You learned exactly what darkness looks like when it desperately pretends to be the light. Now you will never be fooled by that specific deception again. You are fully equipped for the massive assignment that awaits you. The intense isolation you felt was never a punishment. It was a beautiful consecration period designed strictly for your ultimate protection. The universe had to separate you from the noise so you could hear your own intuition again. You had to learn how to stand entirely alone before you could lead the people assigned to your specific calling. Your temporary loneliness was just a divine shield. You do not need anyone's permission to step into this glorious new season. You do not need the liar to apologize or validate your painful experience. Their fake closure is entirely unnecessary because heaven has already closed that toxic door permanently. You hold the absolute keys to your own peace today, and nobody can ever take those sacred keys away from you again. The frequency tool I described earlier remains available in the description for those whose spirit said yes. The path is perfectly open for the chosen ones it is meant for. That is the absolute last time it will be mentioned today. What follows right now belongs entirely to your deep spiritual ceiling. This is the holy moment you fully accept your massive divine inheritance. Release every single lingering agreement you made with smallness. Let go of the heavy guilt they tried to unfairly place on your tired shoulders. You were never meant to carry their deep insecurity or their hidden shame. You were meant to carry a brilliant light that completely shifts the atmosphere of every single room you enter. Your pure light is your absolute legacy. Stop questioning your own beautiful sanity. You were right about them from the very beginning. Your spirit picked up on their dark intentions before they even spoke a single word. You are a powerful discerner of truth, and you possess a gift that terrified them. Own that massive gift right now, and never let anyone make you feel crazy for seeing the invisible truth. Your massive breakthrough is not coming sometime in the distant future. It is already moving powerfully in your life right now. The divine synchronicities that were blocked by their toxic chaos are rapidly returning to your daily reality. You will begin to notice these beautiful miracles immediately. Heaven is working completely in your absolute favor. Tomorrow morning you will wake up feeling entirely different. The crushing weight that usually sits on your chest will be completely gone. You will breathe deeper and see your future path with absolute crystal clarity. The confusing fog has permanently lifted from your spiritual eyes. You are finally returning to the quiet genius you possessed as a beautiful child. You are not the same person who started watching this profound message. The old you who tolerated endless disrespect has completely dissolved into the past. The new you is standing in absolute authority and unshakable peace. You are fiercely protected by the universe and perfectly aligned with your divine assignment. Nothing can stop the massive blessings headed your way today. Walk forward with your head held incredibly high. Do not look back at the broken illusion they tried to build around you. The enemy wants you to mourn a relationship that was completely fake from the very start. But you cannot mourn a phantom. You survived the heavy fire of their deception, and you emerged as pure, unshakable gold. You are exactly where you are supposed to be right now. Your beautiful journey is just beginning. Let this supreme peace settle deep into your tired soul. You have fought an incredibly hard spiritual battle behind closed doors, but the ultimate victory is finally yours to claim. The liar is cooked, and your spirit is entirely free from their toxic web. Hold on to this profound validation whenever you feel a moment of fleeting doubt. You are a true warrior of light, and the entire universe celebrates your incredible return to power today. Never forget who you truly are. You are the cycle breaker for your entire bloodline. The generational curses that operated in the dark have been completely shattered by your relentless pursuit of the truth. Heaven is smiling heavily upon your brave choices. Rest well tonight knowing you are perfectly safe. Your assignment starts now.